Man, I don't know how I was doing streams for so long without plugging in my stream deck, because it just made everything a lot more convenient. Oh, crud. Actually, somebody made animated packs that I've been meaning to go get for the icons, and I've been completely forgetting to do that. I need to do that tonight. Alright. Welcome back Twitch, welcome back YouTube. Let's get back to just another game. Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, where we kind of had, well, some of us, lady, have predicted this, but we kind of had the bombshell dropped. Turns out the first time we discovered Hifumi's body, he wasn't dead. Moreover than that, he might have been actually one of the ones who killed Taka, and Kyoko is about to show us evidence.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Oh, well, there's only one thing it could probably be. Hopefully we're smart enough to figure it the fuck out. The thing that Hifumi stole from Taka? Could it be the note Hifumi had? We don't want the scrap of paper. We want the note.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
I touched his penis for that note. This damn well better be important.
Hidden note?
Makoto, it was in his pocket. You didn't actually have to touch his penis.
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Sakura, why are you suddenly enthusiastic about his pants?
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Did Sakura maybe have a lady crush for Hifumi? I'd ship it. I found a hole. Why do I have to voice this? I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
Goodbye, Whiskey.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants! They had a mind of their own. They're awake and they're going to kill everybody. Sad for no Whiskey. Actually, you know, I got some special ice cubes. I got a silicone ice tray that makes the ice cubes like brilliant cut diamonds. So I had Whiskey on the rocks on ice. And the ice was shaped like ice. Alright. It could have only been Taka.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
These people are the dumbest people on the face of the earth. How are they the ultimate students? Why are they going to this school?
So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
TikTok? Lady, this ain't about your TikTok dances.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Isn't this like the first time you've done that? I like how we're still calling her Genocide Jack. You know, everywhere but her actual nameplate. Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still. I can't let her get to me. We're gonna have a bullet time battle? Nope, make your argument. Broken wristwatch, Hifumi's glasses, glasses, queen, and cloth. I have a feeling none of these are going to be used.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Okay, so it is his wristwatch. The time on the note said 6 a.m. What happened at 6 a.m.? That's what I need to clear up.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it
I'm
say
bad
to
at
meet?
hitting spinning white noise. Also, it's
6
purple
a.m.,
noise,
I
not white noise.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
There we go, that's
No,
easy to hit.
it's wrong.
Break!
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
I am out of whiskey. I must go to... What have I got left? Well, I got more whiskey in the fridge, but... I'll go with this coffee for now. No wonder... Whiskey, coffee, and water. No wonder I had to run to the bathroom.
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note.
Zoom in here real quick.
I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Thanks for wasting our time.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
Yes, turns out you're both really fucking stupid.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they'd found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka. This is where we obviously use the scrap of paper. Kiyotaka's lifeless hand was found clutching a small scrap of paper. Boop!
I got it!
Free heal.
When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is...
You know, Kyoko is just like sitting in the background, and she may be controlling her face, like, because she's really, really cautious about her keeping her thoughts concealed. But you know, like, reading her mind, or running through her mind right now is just like, Jesus fucking Christ, you dumbasses, finally we got to this goddamn point. Holy shit, do I have to do everything?
I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Oh my god, do we... Yeah, I think that deserves no shit. Oh, shit!
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Oh, shit!
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Kyoko, what's it like being the smartest girl in the room? Patting it out more! No shit.
Taka died clutching the note.
Are we
Hifumi tried to
surprised?
free the note from his death grip.
Are we surprised that I dedicate an entire night to these court cases? I guess we did some of the investigation, but Jesus.
Leaving behind only one small scrap.
Patting it out more!
Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa.
I mean, in all fairness, like, the way they pad these out is to, like, put in more games so it's not just reading a book. So, you know, I can kind of understand they want to do this. They want to, like, have people be an active participant in the game. It makes sense. On the other hand, it's like, they really do that by making these people the stupidest people on the face of goddamn Earth. Where are we?
Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
It makes me sad seeing Chihiro's face with the cross through it. I don't need to see that right now, thank you.
Sorry, no.
We're the biggest dicks.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
Okay, from a player standpoint, you know, not from a character standpoint, but from a player standpoint, can you guys start to appreciate why I like Byakuya? Because he's actually got his head up, not up his ass.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
No, Hifumi's still a killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
I mean, you're right, Byakuya, I know what's going on, but I will say fuck all because fun, but really, when you're trapped in a school with this level of idiots, you just might need to entertain yourself however you can and hope for the best. Because really, at this point, if I was Byakuya, I'd be a fucking nihilist. Which he kind of is, so it makes sense. They all got dragged and they can't come down right.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
That's not to say that I don't like the story, and I don't like the characters. The characters are really good. But Jesus Christ. There is pacing to lead you from place to place, which is better than Phoenix Wright, but there are places where they take it over the top.
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
What does that have to do with her breasts?
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
I guess because walruses have big fat deposits? It's the only thing I can think of.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Water, yeah, I guess I could kind of see that, but really, she's been obsessed with Hina's breasts.
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
Jesus Christ! Could you make it any more, like, obvious? Yes, I know there was a hammer that was wet. I don't know why it wasn't a truth bullet.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
Okay, that's an example of where the game treats the player like they're a fucking idiot. I mean, I have to say this from a game designer standpoint, you can't leave people behind if you want them to win, and the game wants you to win. But I kind of hope the next two games are better about it, right? Like, this is them figuring out the formula. I hope that once they get it refined, it doesn't treat you like an obvious idiot.
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
That's called a concussion.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Was it P or was it Poo?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Wait, why do we kill which one was used to attack Celeste? That feels like a mistake. That feels like a bad translation.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Byakuya's just like sitting here like, oh my god. Can we just finish this?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding the case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. Make your argument. Spotless hammer. Oh, I did get it as a truth bullet. I forgot.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
No, because we know where they were.
Whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out.
Also
How
no
was the
purple
culprit
noise.
able to move around so freely with the weapon?
He didn't
How did
have to,
nobody
it was
witness
already
them
there.
carrying it?
sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Okay, so we'll go see if
one
that's a
thing seems
website.
pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
Nope. There
no,
we go.
it's wrong.
Yeah, no.
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
I guess it would have only made sense for this to have been a truth bullet. I just forgot it was there.
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder.
Do you think Kyoko's just sitting back there, just feeling this rush of pride, watching Makoto put all this together himself? Kyoko's like, "Oh, my little baby Makoto's all growing up."
If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers.
Probably.
Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... Make your argument. Spotless hammer. Why do I feel like I'm not gonna use this one?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act
I did
can
lose that.
graduate
I
and
shot early.
survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Can we really say there's no chance two people work together on this?
Based on the rules that have been
Okay,
laid out
I think
for
I'm going to
us,
want to take
even if
two
more than one
people and
person
use
is
it on
complicit in them, only the
on,
one who actually carried
impossible
out the
because,
act,
you know,
and assuming the rule
those are the only
holds
two we saw,
true,
and it makes sense
it
that
is
way.
simply impossible.
That is how the rule.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
There we go. I think this is the order I want to use them in, not the other way around. It wouldn't make sense to put impossible on two people
Based on the rules
because
that have been laid out
that's
for
not
us,
the argument we would
even
make.
if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and serve, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that
I
two
held it
people
down.
work together on this.
That is how the rule was.
But that only really
I
applies if
wasn't
in
paying
this
attention.
case, however, there were two murders.
There we go. Why do I always fuck this up? I always fuck
Based on
this
the
up.
rules that have been, even if more than one
At least
person,
when I have to
only
do
the one
this.
who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive, assuming the rule holds true. It
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Break!
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes
I love the
possible.
music. I'm just sitting here grooving.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
That is the loophole.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look.
This is an awfully convoluted plot. I mean, once you start poking at the threads, it falls apart pretty easily. But overall, this is one of the game's more complex plots, and I actually really like it.
A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
I mean, there's not a rule against the black in having an accomplice. The accomplice just doesn't benefit. But nobody's smart enough to pull this off.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
I mean, yes. Out of universe, there's nobody smart enough to pull this off. In universe, obviously there's somebody. There has to be.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning because she's not a fucking idiot like the rest of us. Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate events. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Well, it's not her because she's dead, even though she's a manipulative bitch. Can't be him, he's an idiot. She's dead. She's probably not going to be manipulating anybody, she just beat the crap out of him. Ah, it could be Kyoko. He's dead. She's, you know, Hina's very sweet, but no, she's not a manipulator. He's a fucking idiot. He's dead. He already tried and failed. He's dead. She's an idiot. He's dead. I'm not the one who did it. I guess it could only be Celeste.
Here's my answer.
She was in the right place at the right time.
It was Celeste.
Every time.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Now, the thing is they don't really drive you to this conclusion in the events of the case up to this point. This is more a conclusion that you're supposed to gather based on all your knowledge of the game so far. Not this case.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was
Excellent
common
God.
only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? The screaming? The paper hidden in Hifumi's pants, oh sweet Jesus, no. Or encountering the suspicious individual. They're the only ones who ever saw him. Or claimed to see him.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Ah, fuck you.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
Dick.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
She's the ultimate gambler.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
So, lady, I have a question for you. What does it feel like to be Kyoko? Because you basically have gotten this one right all the way down. I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen.
Like, I tried to, fog it a little bit because I wanted to make the reveal a little fun for you, but you've basically been exactly right the entire time.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Hacks. Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Alright, he screams. We all run downstairs because these two are a pair of dicks, making us run all over the damn school.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hiro, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will lead the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that piercing cry of yours early on.
I mean, if we think back even further, she was trying to figure out exactly what she should yell. A little ham-handed, yes.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it! Everything, the whole thing was one big act!
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die. Just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
We hadn't discovered Taka's body yet.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room.
Well, she shouldn't have known.
Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Now that one I was trying very hard not to call attention to.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. But what is he alluding to? Make your argument. Monokuma file number 3. I don't think I'll be using this.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened, and they must be positively elated.
Wow, I didn't skip past
We
that.
are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Oh, okay, I'm supposed to do it backwards.
Shoot!
Okay. That's interesting. I would not have done it that way.
All I said was they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die.
And that is all I said.
I guess it
That's
kind of
all
does,
it
but it
takes to
feels like it
finish
could have
this.
gone
It's
both
obvious,
ways.
isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
This is one of those puzzles that makes logic to the developers. When she said that, she should have only known about Hifumi's death.
All I said was they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. Right?
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like...
There we go.
No,
I guess it's because
wrong.
I'm not trying to break Byakuya. Alright, there's a break.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You know, this feels like a good time to go ahead and call it an episode for YouTube. I think I'm going to leave you guys just before, like, she apparently has a breakdown. See you guys, I'll get to see that next time. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave me comments. Remember to subscribe. I'll see you guys, YouTube, next time. Twitch, I actually need to take another break real quick. Probably not going to be 5 minutes, but I need to take care of something. So I'll see you guys in a couple. Bye-bye.